exposing things. Once in a while, when we're talking about pretty heavy stuff, we do have to laugh, because if we didn't just sit there and maybe make some kind of dark humor about it, I mean,
well,
we would be
I
in
think
a mess.
you're right, and I think if you go back and listen to the tape, especially to some of my comments during this broadcast, you might pick some of that up. And,
I did.
And so just so people don't go and hurt themselves, just because it's so grim.
And that's why I like to also emphasize on some of the good things that are happening too, because I want people to walk away from the interviews I'm doing and not have that taste in their mouth like, God, that was really dark, and then all he talked about was bad stuff. I don't like that. I want people to walk off going, okay, there's hope.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, so we've talked about your sort of history, and so now at this time, are you trying to repair your memory? Are you trying to group it together with the help of others? Or
yes.
Are you seeing a hypnotherapist?
Oh no! I tried the hypnotism thing once, and it did not turn out well. I had actually gone into an altar, and I didn't physically attack the person, but it got to the point where I guess the hypnotherapist was a little intimidated and was able to get me out of it before things got out of control.
So in some way, then, and I don't know, you say you don't necessarily like to go to the movie aspect, but in some ways, are you sort of like a born identity guy, where you've lost some memory, you've been assigned, you've done a lot of things, and now they're sort of popping up?
Well, I mean, if you're going to make the comparison, yeah, I guess that's what it would be. And yes, I am working with a couple of people who have contacted me. One gentleman who was part of shadow government operations, who later on has he's been working for the past 9 years on getting his own memories back, and he's been working with some really good doctors. I mean, and these are doctors that kind of separate themselves from the medical field, and they've been doing research more on the metaphysical and psychic detoxification side. And I'm very happy that I was selected to go through this process, which I'm going to be embarking on very soon. And if it works, in fact, I have to call this gentleman on Tuesday, and I think he might be actually listening to the show right now. So if he knows who he is. But if it works the way he says it will, or what the results happen to him, then memories will be coming back in waves, and even abilities that I possess may even be coming out.
Well, Aaron, what if because you've mentioned that some part of the human population is bred or used for entertainment and dining purposes for other beings. What if you get one of these memories back, and you were sitting at a table, having lunch, and realized it was your Aunt Susie? I mean, how are you going to equip yourself psychologically to handle that event? Because you don't know that didn't happen.
You're right. I don't know, but I do have memories, and I've been able to come to terms and speak from. So
you're not afraid.
I have memories of taking men, women, and children to facilities that were being used as experimentation and other things. And I do have memories that are very hard to deal with. I'm still working on of killing men, women, and yes, children. And yes, the person who is going through the steps with me on this detox did warn me of that.
Let's rewind there about 5 seconds. Couldn't you be arrested for that? Suspicion.
Could I be arrested for that?
Yeah, you did. Okay.
I could be, but good luck with them proving it, because I don't exist.
Well, if you don't exist, who am I talking to?
Well, I mean that metaphorically as far as the records. I've been blacklisted, Daniel.
Okay. I understand your identity's been removed.
Yes.
Okay. And you don't even have a Social Security number now?
Well, I have a card that says I have one, but then when I go to, I've done a couple of little experiments of my own where I went and, contacted the IRS to get like taxes done or to this or that, and there was absolutely no reply. Even went on my own and even used aliases of saying I was someone else, and that I've done means even contacting the NSA through the Freedom of Information Act to get information, and nothing.
C.S. Rivers here in the live chat says that you died on the record. Then wouldn't that mean that you're a zombie? And you really can't prosecute a zombie. I mean, who has ever prosecuted a zombie? So I think you might be safe. I'm getting it now a little bit.
Yeah. No, and you're not the first. This is the first rare show where I've said that, and it has to be said because people need to know. You know, I will be the first to admit that. You know, I was definitely raised and trained to be nothing less than a monster, a complete robot without feel, with different alters, to where if I needed to go slash the throat of some innocent woman holding her baby, I could do it without question, without remorse, without even thinking twice about it. That's how they train us. That's how they program us.
Whoa. Okay. Well, hopefully I'm not in that list there.
No, absolutely not. I don't have anyone on that. No. I'm a much more. I'm working on myself to be a much more peaceful person now.
Okay, Aaron, and it sounds like just from the people that have tuned into the program maybe for the first time, maybe friends of yours, and from what you said that there are those evidently you have people that are helping you in certain ways. So this comment could be a help along that way. This is from Ed in Florida. He writes that. Now, do you have clips on YouTube?
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of clips of me on YouTube now, apparently.
Okay. All right. Well, here's what Ed says. So hang on. He says, by looking at your body language in the clips, he says you often look down, and he says something that people do when they're being creative, as opposed to something as opposed to looking up when they're recalling something. He said this strongly suggests you may be lying. Now, he didn't. But then the other party says, have you ever thought about this? He's not saying you are lying. He's saying, but have you ever thought of the analyzation of your body language may indicate that maybe some of the things you're saying isn't, true?
Well, I've been asked that before, and I've actually had that YouTube video analyzed by people who are experts in the field and other people who were part of naval intelligence groups that were specifically would deal with that kind of thing, and they've all told me that, and these are people that I never met before. They contact me and they say, well, based on everything that your movement, your eye movement, everything, they know that I'm telling the truth, but then they also said that they can definitely tell that there's been some kind of programming.
By the way, your sound just seemed like it went a lot better there. Hey, by the way,
I just switched phones because the other one I was on was running out of battery.
Okay, well this phone actually sounds better. By the way, Ed in Florida, I bet you didn't think I'd ask that question. And by the way,
I'm glad you did.
For those watching me, they see that I look down, but see, when I look down, it's because as you're talking, I'm taking notes. And so I'm referring to my notes. And when I look up, a lot of times I'll look up. I don't know, you probably aren't watching the show, Aaron, but there's usually a thought bubble, and I'm thinking. So I kind of look up and I'm thinking, So, okay. And, all right, now let's go to a couple more questions here. Do you know Lieutenant Colonel S.C.?
Lieutenant Colonel S.C.?
Yeah.
S.C.
That's his pen name. Actually, I think his name's Greg. He claims many, I guess, or substantiates many of the things that you've said, that there are underground bases, there are kids in there, there are aliens with that, there's a hybrid program. So really, and he was in the military too, by the way.
I don't recall Lieutenant Colonel, but that name sounds familiar, like it's been mentioned to me before. I'm going to have to ask my buddy Dave Corso about that one.
And we have this from Ohio. Could you describe any alien either physically or mentally, as you've seen them mentally or as you've seen them physically?
Well, yeah, I mean, I could, but that's, hard. It's hard to describe, but I can. I mean, what do they want me to describe? Just like one occasion that it happened?
Well, sure. What do they look like? They got claws. They got.
Well, no.
Halitosis. What?
The ones that I encountered were kind of
they were more humanoid type with a kind of a bluish skin and more almond type